Hello and welcome to another episode of IMO, in my opinion. I bet some of you out there have some really picky eaters that don't want to eat their vegetables, or maybe they don't want to eat their fruit, or their bread, or their pasta, or whatever it is that day that they don't feel like eating. So we actually today have the honor of having Charles Slaughter, who is a Master of Public Health and a registered dietitian. He is also the prevention coordinator for Connecticut Department of Children and Families, and a published author on mealtime environments. And part of what he does is talks to parents and families about getting kids to eat healthier. So thank you for coming, Charlie.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you kind of specialize in when it comes to meal times?
Well, what's true is a lot of parents really have struggles about their kids eating, and sometimes some of the stuff just drives them crazy. And I just had this passion for seeing kids and parents thriving in life. And when the meal times are going well, it really does contribute to the kids thriving in life. But it also contributes to the parents thriving in life. So one of the things I do is I say meal times are about much more than just food. That there's other things that are being fed at the meal. You're feeding your love, your care, and your connection with them. And what we know is kids' appetite, especially younger kids, can really vary quite a bit. Sometimes they have a huge appetite, sometimes a medium appetite, sometimes no appetite at all. And it's still a wonderful opportunity to still have them come to the table, because you can still feed them your love, your care, and your connection. And so I just think that's just really important. I'm also looking at meal times as a great opportunity to build some eating capabilities, but also some important life skills. And for example, when you offer a kid a new food, kids generally, when you give them a new food, do not stand up and start clapping and say thank you. But what I do, I really look at it as you're giving your kid a small challenge. Now, you can give them a challenge in a way that it's really difficult for them. Like you start telling them, you have to eat this food. You cannot leave this table till you eat all of this food or eat this particular food. And what I'm working with parents to do is definitely offer new foods, because that's giving your kid a small challenge. And what we know, sometimes some kids have to try a new food 10 to 15 times before they learn to like it. We also know a lot of parents stop offering a new food after giving it 1, 2, or 3 times.
Is it true that the taste buds, I've heard that a child's taste buds changes every like 3 years or something like that. So if like with an older child, if they tried it when they were younger, you should try them again. Is that true?
Well, I don't know that they change. There's certainly, we know from the research that kids, even newborns, prefer sweet foods and salty foods. Now, you probably may remember there was a particular president of the United States who hated a vegetable. Mm-hmm. That was first President Bush. Now, we found out about that because he banned broccoli from the presidential jet.
Wow.
How do you
Which
ban it?
Power. That is like power, right?
Just don't eat it, but you're going to ban it? Okay, never mind.
Well, you know, I read an interview with him, and he talked about that when he was a kid, his mother forced him to eat broccoli. And he says, and I don't have to do that anymore. But what
president?
Yeah, the president. I don't have to eat broccoli.
One of the things we know is we're not all the same when it comes to tasting bitter foods. Mm-hmm. About 1 out of every 4 people are what we call super tasters. They really taste a lot of bitterness in foods. Now, when you think about it, what food group do kids really struggle with the most? It's vegetables, because that's the food group with a lot of bitterness. So if you give broccoli, say, to a super taster, they're going to taste a lot more bitterness. And then there are about 1 out of every 4 people who are at the other end that really don't taste that much bitterness, and the rest of us are really in between.
Okay.
So some of the things you want to do is, you know, you might add a sauce or something to it. Or when I have broccoli, I add lemon juice to it.
I was going to say that basically the way that the vegetable is prepared, definitely. I mean, I remember when I first started to prepare broccoli, it was like, oh, do broccoli and cheese. and okay, well, or do fresh broccoli. And so I found that depending on the way that I've offered it and prepared it different ways,
Right.
I'm just like, we're just going to get the green in us. So, by any means necessary.
Right. We also
Oh, except for putting like syrup on it. I ain't not like
Brown
that.
sugar.
Not like that. But I know for me even, and I do like broccoli, but
Right.
I prefer broccoli to be like lightly, steamed and more fresh
Right,
and green
right,
versus
right.
like it just now yellow and
Like
it's like
overcooked.
overly cooked, and that's to me is disgusting. So it just
no,
really depends.
which is really important because your kids are going to be listening to what you say, but more importantly, they're going to be watching what you
What I
do.
eat, right?
And if you're eating a vegetable, they're much more likely to try it. Now, the other thing, the number one thing we know that's really going to help kids learn to like a new food is to get them involved with it. It might be in the garden, it might be shopping, it might be bringing them into the kitchen to help with the. You could take a 3-year-old, hold them, let them stir. Or in some preschools, what they do is they get kids involved in cutting up, say, spinach leaves or mushrooms. And so that's getting them involved. And what we know, when kids get involved, they're much more likely to try the food. Well, let me tell you, one of the things some preschools do. Now, we know if you give raw spinach leaves to a 3-year-old, they're not going to be happy about it. But what some preschools are doing is they have the kid, they give them some spinach leaves, they tear it apart, put it in a Ziploc bag, they give them a mushroom, they get to cut it up, put it in the bag, they let them pour some salad dressing in, they seal the bag, then they let them shake it up. It's amazing to see how many of those kids are eating the spinach. And partly it's, the salad dressing's cutting the bitterness, but the kids, they've gotten involved and they're having fun.
Right.
It's interesting that you say the salad dressing because one of my 4, he does not like salad dressing. He never has. He will eat a salad straight no matter what it is. He'll eat it straight. And, so we have a variety of different things offered. And it's like, no, he just has always eaten salad dressing, salad dry,
Right.
even when he was young. And he's now 16, basically.
Which is part of his uniqueness.
And that's it. Yes.
I tell you, when I talk with groups of parents, I will ask, does anybody have a food you don't like? And just about everybody always has a food. It varies from hot dogs to Brussels sprouts to cheese. And that's just part of our uniqueness is I don't think everybody's going to like every food.
How do you feel about the whole, a couple of years ago there was a trend, I guess I should say, about blending for children, blending their vegetables in with like sauce or in with, so that they didn't see it.
Right.
And how did you feel about that? I have my own opinion, but just from a professional
Partly, I think it's okay because you're exposing kids and they're getting some nutrients. What they're missing out on is the challenge of having that food. And what I talk to parents about is when you offer a new food, just put some on their plate. Don't make a big deal about it. Eat it yourself. Let them go at their own pace. Having it on their plate is exposure to it. And you also want to encourage them, but don't force them to try it.
Right.
Because if you force a kid to try a food, what you're doing, and they don't like it, you're creating a really strong negative emotional experience, and they will remember that. So what I do is teach parents about giving kids a way out. What you teach the kid, take a little bite, and if you don't like it, you teach them how to politely, and that's the key word, politely put it into a paper napkin and let them throw it away.
So the social graces of when they go into public at a function and they learn how to eat.
That
They're not spitting
They're not
across
like,
the
oh
room.
my gosh, this is so disgusting.
Yeah, that's a life skill.
It's a life skill.
Yeah, it's an important life skill to be
And
able
we're
to
going
do
to talk
that.
some more about life skills, eating, and mealtime environments when we come back. Thank you. So we just got our food. Are you excited?
I am excited. This
This is a sampler. And usually
Right.
samplers have a ton of stuff I don't like.
Right.
But this is a good one.
This is a good
I'm
one.
excited.
Fried pickles.
Yep.
Green beans and
Mozzarella sticks.
okay.
And lots of sauces. So you can kind of try each thing in each sauce, which will be fun. It's like a little kid. I'm excited.
So which sauce do we try first?
I don't know. I want a green bean.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what this is at the end, but this looks pretty good. Good.
So we have our desserts.
They look really pretty.
Ready?
Yeah, let's take a bite. Really good. I have the cheesecake. Alika has the apple pie. And their slogan here is everybody's restaurant. And as two vegetarians, we were both really satisfied with our meal. So it's definitely everybody's restaurant.
Definitely. They also have hamburgers and steaks and other
Yes.
things too, right?
Yeah.
We're right off of Route 57 West in Feeding Hills. And we especially like to thank Dino, the owner of the restaurant. And when you come visit, say hi to Dino and tell him IMO sent you.